Alright, so hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, I wanted to go over the Radeon RX 6000 series refresh that we just got this morning. I was pretty much just spammed with a bunch of videos talking about these cards and just kind of talking about the specs and everything like that. And so in today's video, I just want to go over the viability of buying one of these cards and just kind of seeing where they stack against their competition. And so to do that, one of the best videos I've found online is by Kit Guru Tech, and it compares three high-end variants of the 6000 series refresh. So we have the RX 6650 XT Nitro Plus, 6750 XT Nitro Plus, and the 6950 XT Nitro Plus. And now the frame we're just looking at right here is going to be the 12-game average. If you guys want to check out the entire video, I highly suggest it. I'm going to leave a link down below, but I'm just going to use this for reference just to kind of give us some relative performance numbers. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's a somewhat decent upgrade. The 6650 XT isn't too big of an increase over the normal 6600 XT with a fairly decent overclock on it. Pretty much all these cards are just going to be a slight overclock over the base card that they're kind of upgrading from. So like the 6600 XT is just a slower clocked version of the 6650 XT. And I guess the other change of these ones is that they have faster video memory, though that usually doesn't translate to a whole lot of FPS gains. But for the most part, it's a fairly decent upgrade other than the 6950 XT, which seems like it's actually a fairly large upgrade in terms of performance, because it does seem that they really did overclock this card a lot compared to the normal 6900 XT. And I think this is mainly just to do because they've gotten this thing bend so well that they're able to pump a lot more power through it, and they're just trying to increase the clocks as much as possible. So all these cards I actually think perform fairly well. The 6750 XT is performing better than the 3070 Founders Edition. On average, the 6650 XT is performing better than the 3060, and the 6950 XT is on average performing better than the 3090 Ti. Now this morning, just to kind of get a rough estimate of how these things were priced, because you didn't really see a whole lot of MSRP numbers with these cards when they were launched, I just went on Micro Center to kind of get a rough price estimate of what these cards were looking at. And the 6650 XT I thought was one of the more competitive ones. Let me see if I can find on here. So yeah, so the Power Color Hellhound version of the 6650 XT is going for $410 on here, and it has a bunch of stock. So it seems like in terms of pricing, it's fairly good. Just to kind of compare against the other cards, the next lowest end card here is going to be a 6600 XT, and that's going for $420. So a generally worse performing card is being priced higher than the newer cards. So this kind of is making me think that these cards are going to stay around MSRP, or just going to start kind of going down a lot more in price, which again is just good for the consumer in general. Now moving on to the other cards, the pricing isn't that much better on here. You know, this is not a terrible price for $580, but you know, it's again, it's okay. The Red Devil one is going for $610. That's starting to get a little bit pricey, but that is, I guess, technically a higher end card. And then the Asus Strix version of it is going for $630. And then when looking at the 6950 XTs, there weren't a whole lot of them on here. There's pretty much just only this Red Devil one, which is going to be the air-cooled one, and that's going for $1,100. And then you could get the Liquid Devil one for $1,300. Again, $1,100 is kind of what I was expecting this card to be. It's $100 over the base MSRP of the 6900 XT. I don't think that's a terrible price in the grand scheme of things. And the surprising thing was, is actually Newegg, which is, you know, a fairly large retailer that you guys can buy stuff from, actually has better pricing than Micro Center for once on a lot of these cards. So the lowest end card on here for the 6650 XT is going for $400, which is $10 less than the other card that was on the Micro Center website. And again, you guys can get this shipped pretty much anywhere in North America. You guys can buy one of these cards. I also think some places in Europe are able to get some of these Newegg cards as well. But compared to just going for a 3060, which is the direct competitor against the 6650 XT, the 3060, like the cheapest one on here, is going for $430. And for the most part, the 6650 XT is going to perform better than the 3060 in games. So these cards are fairly competitive, all things considered. And it's going to be the same thing with the RX 6750 XT. Again, these ones are all fairly expensive, but you have this one ASRock Challenger Pro with a triple fan design going for $550, which is also a really good price for this card, considering that it outperforms the 3070 most of the time, and you can't really buy stock 3070s anymore. Most of the time you can really only buy 3070 Ti's. So especially if you're looking for a card within that $500 price range for around 3070 level performance, the 6750 XT is looking really good at this price point. And then going up to the 6950 XT, it's going for that stable $1,100 across most of the different card variants. You got the ASRock one, you have a Gigabyte one, you got the MSI one, a Sapphire one. The Sapphire one's a little bit more expensive, but this one's it's a really weird design. It's really bulky and stuff like that. But most of the Atom board partner designs are just going for the stable $1,100 for this card, which I think is actually a fairly decent price for it, considering that the card that this card's kind of getting pit up against is going to be the 3080 Ti, and the 3080 Ti is going for, you know what, $1,300 at like the minimum here. And this is one of the cheaper shroud designs, so temperatures on this one's going to be a lot worse than something like the Gaming X from MSI with the 6950 XT. Like, I think in general, these cards are going to be super competitive if you are looking for a gaming card, and it's going to beat out a lot of the competition that NVIDIA has out right now. I'm highly expecting NVIDIA to start lowering down some more of their prices, considering that these cards are just kind of blowing them out of the water in terms of competition. So in all honesty, I wouldn't buy one of these 6000 series refresh cards right now, considering that I think NVIDIA might lower down their prices, maybe just about a $50 reduction across the board for a lot of these GPUs. But I think if you are looking for a graphics card right now, I do think that the 6000 refresh is one of the more competitive things on the market. Now, I will say, if you are going for something that's like more productivity heavy and stuff like that, I really would just stick with NVIDIA. A lot of their features just make productivity stuff a lot better. Rendering, video editing, and recording and stuff like that is just so much better on NVIDIA cards. So I would highly suggest you go with NVIDIA if you're looking for that. But if you're going with just straight gaming, I think AMD is going to be the way to go. And I think the 6000 series refresh is a actually pretty decent launch, all things considered. So yeah, guys, if you want to see some more stuff like overclock, just the actual in-game benchmarks for each of these cards, definitely go check out this video. It's gonna be linked down in the description. Again, it's by Kick Guru Tech. You know, great channel. It gives you guys a lot of good information about these cards, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out.